Hi, welcome to Briskets and Bridges. Today we're going to make Hawaiian breakfast food called Loco Moco. And what Loco Moco is a hamburger patty on top of rice with homemade brown gravy and an egg on top of that with a little green onion garnishment. So let me introduce you to the ingredients. First, we'll make the rice, and I have that baking right now. And we use jasmine rice in my house, but you could use a short grain sticky rice or basmati, whatever you prefer. For the gravy, we'll use about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter, about 3 tablespoons of flour, about 1.5 tablespoons or so of soy sauce. And I make an onion gravy. You can do it without onion, you could do it with mushroom, however you prefer. And these are all approximate how you prefer to make your gravy. About 1.5 cups of beef bone broth, and then we'll season it with salt and pepper. And the gravy will be made in the hamburger juices after I cook the hamburgers. So we'll make simple hamburgers, season with just salt and pepper. We'll make the patties, put them in the cast iron pan and cook them up. And then we'll cook the egg sunny side up and put it all together. So let's get to cooking the hamburger. All right, so now we're gonna make our hamburger patties here. So I took our pound of hamburger, and you probably saw earlier, it was that fancy Snake River Farms meat, which is high quality stuff, but you can use whatever hamburger you want. Put in the comments what you guys use for hamburger and how you prepare your hamburgers, but I just do a simple seasoning, salt and pepper. I think for this dish, that's all you need. Nothing too elaborate. So just roll it into a ball, and I use a little ring here to form my patties. I'm not too good at forming them by hand, so I like doing it like this. So just form it into my patty. And let me know how you all make your hamburgers. All right, so gonna just simply season it with a little pepper here, and then add a little salt. Now our cast iron pan is preheated. I have it on medium. My stovetop here runs a little hot, so you might want to go medium high depending on your stove. Put a little bit of olive oil in there, and then I'm going to put our patty in there and get it cooking. And then cooking about 3 or 4 minutes on each side, get a nice crust to it. This is quite messy. It's the only time I ever cook hamburger inside. I usually grill it outside, but you want to cook it inside this because we're going to use the juices for the gravy. All right, so I just cooked the hamburger after about 3 minutes. Get a nice crust on there. We'll let this cook up and set it aside and start cooking our gravy in a minute here. All right, so our hamburger's done. I put foil on it and put that away for now. Now we're gonna make the gravy. I got the juices from the hamburger in here, and I'm gonna cook up these onions a little bit here, caramelize them. Cook them till they're nice and soft and browned here. And then I'll add the butter. All right, you can see how the onions deglaze the pan. All right, our onions are cooked and browned here, tasting really good. Our heat's on, medium low. So now I'm gonna add the butter here and let the butter melt down a little bit. Tell me how you make your brown gravy too. I'm interested in all recipes for that. I love this stuff. So it's not just for breakfast. So just let this butter melt down, and then I'm going to start adding the flour and make a roux. And I slowly add the flour so I can mix it up and not get too many lumps in it. So just slowly add that. And tell me how you make your roux too. Leave it in the comments, like the video, subscribe. That all helps me out. I'm just starting out doing this, so I appreciate everything. I appreciate everybody watching this. And I want to keep doing this and making more. So we'll slowly mix that around, get that flour in there. You can see it thickening up. And I like gravy on the thicker side. If you like it on the thinner side, you can use less flour. You could cook the onions separately, put them in later, however you want to do it. This is just kind of how I do it for breakfast. So I finished putting the flour in there and mixing this up. I kind of held back on a little bit of the flour. It's getting kind of thick here. So now I'm going to add about half a cup to a cup of the bone broth there. Going to mix this up. We increase the heat a little bit there. And I'll mix this around here. All right, you can see this is coming together nice. I'm gonna add the soy sauce. And I just wanna say, be comfortable with your flour roux early on. If you have to add flour at this stage, it's difficult and it'll clump up on you and it's hard to disperse it. So keep that in mind when you're making this. So it takes a little practice to get where you wanna be. So mix that up a little bit. Gonna add the rest of this bone broth in there. And let it cook up and simmer. I'm gonna take the rest of almost the rest of the butter and put it in there and leave a little bit for cooking the eggs. And now I'm gonna mix this around. All right, so we're all mixed up together. We got our acid from the onions. We got our heat from the stove, obviously. And we got our fat from the butter and the bacon drippings. We got our fond in there to add flavor. So now we need to season it with some salt. So this is to your liking. And then, so we're gonna season it up here. Maybe add a little pepper in there and then let this thicken up. All right, so our gravy's done. It's about the consistency I like it for this dish. If you end up a little bit runny, you can simmer it down a little longer, but we're right about where we want on this one. So now we're gonna get the egg going. So got this heated up in my tiny little frying pan here for 1 egg. And normally I make 2 or 3 hamburger patties and 4 eggs at a time with this dish when I'm cooking for my family. But, you know, for this video, I just did one patty, 1 egg. And that gravy will be plenty for 4 servings of this. So we don't need that much butter. So let's get this warmed up. I'm just gonna cook this egg sunny side up. And you could cook it over easy however you want. And I also forgot to mention, you can use Spam in this dish. My dad grew up in Hawaii and I used to make this for him with Spam rather than hamburger. So you can use whatever meat you want. But the traditional way I believe in Hawaii is with hamburger. And this is a super cheap, tasty breakfast. So let's get this going here. All right, so now we're gonna plate this up. I got my rice on here. You can use a ring or you can use a bowl to make your rice like that, nice like that. Put my hamburger on there. Now I'm gonna put some gravy on my hamburger here. Get it nice and smothered. Gonna put my egg on top of that. A little stuck in there. There we go. Let's keep that guy from sliding off. Put some pepper al gusto. Some green onions on there and comment on this. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want to do differently. I'll do it a different way if you want. Thinking about doing a vegetarian one with impossible meat. Tell me if you want that. Leave it in the comments. Just want to make a little comment. Save your green onions and plant them in your yard. They'll grow. I got them growing out there right now that I've saved. All right, there we go. All right, let's try this. Oh, look at that runny yolk on there. Get a little bit of everything in there. Try it again there. Some egg in there. Tasty. I'm gonna go eat. So thanks for joining me today. Hope you like this. Comment on it. Subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate you being here. See you next time. Hey y'all, I just want to show you real quick how I ate it after making the Loco Moco video. I just scrambled the eggs, threw it all together, nothing fancy, put some hot sauce on it, made the same thing for my son, and still just as good.